Get the latest Zacks research, analysis, and rankings on exchange-traded funds in Exploring ETFs. We're going to take a look at ETF fund flows now for the second quarter with our ETF Research Director, Nina Mishra. Nina, the ETF funds flow telling a little bit of a trend story here. What's it telling us?
Yes, this chart shows the fund flows, top 5 fund gainers, asset gainers during the second quarter. And I think because increasing number of retail and institutional investors are now adopting or embracing ETFs, so a look at the fund flow trends can give a fair indication about investor sentiment or market trends going forward too. Now, if we look at the fund flows, the first two, the top 2 asset gainers were Japan ETFs. The third one was financial ETF, and the other 2 were bond ETFs because of the worry about increase in rates. So we take a look a little bit in detail in the following slides.
Okay, so let's start with first the top one. Japan ETFs continue to be popular. Why?
Japan ETFs were very popular during the first quarter too. It seems that all the aggressive monetary measures being taken there by the Abe government, they seem to be working now. The first quarter GDP was up 3.5%, which was great. And recent economic numbers, especially in industrial production and consumer spending, they suggest that the strong momentum continued during the second quarter as well. And it seems that investors are very positive on Japan's turnaround. So the Wisdom Tree Japan ETF, ticker DXJ, which provides exposure to Japanese equities while hedging out the currency risk, that remained the most popular ETF in terms of asset flows during the second quarter also.
In that group?
Yes. It gained 4.2 billion in assets during the second quarter. At the second spot was iShares Japan ETF, ticker EWJ. It gained 3.5 billion during the second quarter.
Okay, financial ETFs gained assets as well. They're kind of a bright spot.
Yes, financial ETFs have been performing very well, and they're expected to continue their excellent performance going forward too. And per Zacks earnings estimates, financial sector is expected to, the earnings are expected to grow more than 18% for the second quarter compared with the second quarter of last year. They're expected to be leader in terms of earnings growth. And this current rate environment also works great for financial ETFs. The banks in particular, they gain from the steepening yield curve, and rising interest rates are good for insurance companies as well. Another reason to be positive on financial ETFs is that they have been increasing their buybacks and dividends. So the sector looks good, and investors have been positive on the sector. The broad financial sector Spider ETF, ticker XLF, it gained 2.1 billion during the second quarter.
But investors were worried about interest rates going up.
Yes, interest rates have been creeping up. You see all because of the taper talk, and after much better than expected jobs report last Friday, the benchmark 10-year yield touched 2.73%, which was the highest since August 2011. So investors are getting worried that fixed rate and longer duration bonds in their portfolio will lose a lot. They will be hurt in this rising rate scenario. So they have been switching to floating rate ETFs and shorter duration ETFs, which are not so much hurt by increase in interest rates. PowerShares Senior Loan ETF, which is a floating rate ETF, the ticker is BKLN. That was the 4th largest asset gainer with 1.6 billion assets added during the second quarter. And iShares 1 to 3 years Treasury bond ETFs, the ticker is SHV. It was the 5th largest asset gainer during the second quarter with 1.5 billion in asset gains. So these two ETFs, because of their shorter duration or their floating rate nature, they are not so much hurt by increase in rates. So investors are switching to these kind of products.
Okay, and as far as you can tell, in the near term, you don't see this positive sentiment diminishing at all.
No, I think this sentiment is continuing in the third quarter as well. So we may see similar trends during the third quarter.
Okay, thanks. Check out other ETF articles on our website, zacks.com, if you're not there already. All you need to do is go to the homepage and scroll all the way down till you get to the ETF module and click on any of those story links, and it'll take you right to the story as well as the ETF section of the website. With Nina, I'm Terry Ruffalo.